Chronic pain affects millions of Americans in the US, and society has actually found a way to normalize this pain and just accept it as part of daily life. In fact, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, in their 2023 report titled Chronic Back Pain in Young Adults in the US, approximately 51 million Americans suffer from some form of chronic back pain. That's 21% of our country's population. Additionally, people living with this burden will miss on average 9 extra workdays per year due to the discomfort. Society has found a way to normalize living with this pain and hide our symptoms like it's something to be ashamed of. Once you're already dealing with chronic pain, it can be extremely difficult to reverse these effects and sometimes potentially dangerous. That's why functional movement and beginner yoga can help individuals understand how their daily movement patterns are affecting their body in the long term. First, I'll explain what functional movement is and why it matters so much. Then we'll look at how poor daily habits can affect your body in the long run. Finally, we'll go over some very basic yoga and functional movement exercises that you can try at home today. Functional movement encourages movement patterns of daily life to help you move more easily and efficiently. Basic movements like sitting, standing, or bending over tend to get more difficult as we age, especially if you've lived a rather sedentary life, which is pretty common for most corporate American workers, unfortunately. According to the Cleveland Clinic article, What is Functional Strength Training?, published in April of 2026, functional strength exercises such as lunges, squats, and rotational twist movements refine stability, improve your coordination, and support long-term health and aging. Now that we understand what functional movement is, let's look at why and how everyday habits can negatively affect our bodies over time. Repetitive habits are things that we do every day without even realizing that we're engaging with them. A great example of this is the modern term coined tech neck. According to BSW Health, tech neck is a real term for neck and upper back pain caused by constantly bending your head forward and looking at a screen or computer. After holding this posture for 40 plus hours a week, this goes beyond just a neck ache. This is a structural issue in your body. You are now dealing with chronic pain. Understanding how these habits affect us show why changing these daily movements are so important in the first place. If you did not take preventative care while you were younger, and later in life you go to a doctor for, say, chronic knee pain, they may offer pain medication and sometimes surgery, but that doesn't really fix the actual issue. It just masks the pain. Knowing how to take action before the pain begins is the best way to stop any medical issues in the future. Of course, we can't completely avoid misalignment, but luckily, yoga can emphasize our body awareness, breathing, flexibility, and movement control. The best part is there is no gym or experience needed to start practicing today. Of course, there are a ton of resources available online, but just to name a few of my favorites, I recommend cat-cow pose, child's pose, and plank pose. Actually, an article from the National Library of Medicine titled The Core Issue, Plank Performance and Pain in the Lower Back, goes into some detail about the benefits of holding plank and side plank, increasing core stability and supporting your spine, actually relieving some lower back pain. As we learned, poor habits and repetitive movements can contribute to chronic pain that we feel in our body. When society encourages us to normalize this pain and ignore our symptoms, they only get worse. Functional movement can teach us healthier ways to move our body, keeping us comfortable, mobile, and safe as we age. Pairing with basic beginner-friendly yoga practices is a great step to start the mind-body connection. Remember, the goal is not to become a part of the statistic, but to take care of your health and prevent it before it even becomes an issue. Thank you for listening.